Well, if he was pushed, it's for me, it's madness. It really is. A four-time world champion. I think he showed his speed as well last year. He had a tough moment in the season when Charles was performing really well, and I think that did hurt him a little bit mentally. But he came back really strong, and he's just somebody you would definitely choose to put in your car if you had an F1 team. So there must be more to it. I don't know if Ferrari are going down the route of not wanting two number one drivers or what, but it's a really strange choice for me, and I'm still shocked by the decision of Sebastian not being in a red car.
This was what Jenson Button had to say about Ferrari deciding not to continue with Sebastian Vettel beyond the 2020 season. Now, let's look at what Toto Wolff had to say about Ferrari announcing the lineup for 2021 season, even before the commencement of the 2020 season. How the events panned out was fast and different because one must not forget there is still a full season to race. You would rarely take these decisions so early in the season because, be it for Daniel at Renault, or Carlos at McLaren, or Sebastian at Ferrari, these guys will race the new kit, will see all the innovation, will need to be involved in the development of the vehicle, and need to play their team part also in some of the competitions. So, yes, these decisions came about quicker than I would have done, but it's interesting to watch. Maybe there's something to learn. Hello everyone, this is The Casual Fan, and today I want to talk about whether Ferrari decide their 2021 lineup too soon. Now, Ferrari has announced that it won't continue its association with Sebastian Vettel beyond the 2020 season and have already named Carlos Sainz as his replacement. The swiftness with which all the signings have taken place was a bit of a surprise. As soon as Vettel was released by Ferrari, all the other dominoes fell in place as Sainz was announced as his replacement at Ferrari, while Ricciardo was promptly signed up with McLaren. In all of this, Vettel is left in the wilderness, still trying to figure out his future, but there is certainly one question that needs to be answered. Did Ferrari jump the gun a bit too early? Should they have waited a bit longer and maybe then decide, because there's still a complete season of racing left before the 2021 season commences? Let's go through the three critical decisions that Ferrari has made to get to understand the situation better. Number 1. Anointing Charles Leclerc as a de facto number 1. Signing up Charles Leclerc on a long-term contract was a smart thing to do. Anointing him as the de facto number 1 driver by removing Vettel from the picture and bringing in Sainz could just be one step too many at such an early stage of his career. Lest we forget, 2020 will be Leclerc's third season in Formula 1. Although he has done a great job and he is rated very highly all around the paddock, there is still a development and learning curve that he still needs to follow. He is still rough around the edges and he still needs to learn. Sadly for Leclerc, Ferrari is not a team where you get to learn your trade, especially if you are the lead driver in the team. The pressure of driving for Ferrari as the lead driver is menacing, and Vettel will be the first person to tell Charles that the Italian media is very fickle and the pressure that they put on the drivers is next to anything he has experienced ever before. He would be expected to win titles from the very first season, and in just your fourth season, that is a lot of pressure. Ferrari could have alleviated all that by keeping Sebastian in the team and giving both equal statuses. Charles would have learned a lot from Vettel as well. Could there have been a few niggles? For sure, but then Lewis Hamilton will be the first to tell you that he learned a lot about F1 during his first year alongside a two-time world champion in Alonso. But as it stands now, all hopes of a Ferrari championship triumph lie on the shoulders of a very young, albeit talented driver in only his third season in Formula One. Getting rid of Sebastian Vettel. Vettel might not have had the best of seasons in 2019 and 2018, but they weren't as bad as they were made out to be. He still put together some great races in these seasons. Sadly for him, when you drive for Ferrari, you are under the spotlight all the time, and your mistakes do get highlighted. His race in Germany 2019 or in Canada 2019, where he was spectacularly robbed, were some of the highlights of the season. There were phases where he showed that he still had the speed and was gaining back his confidence in the car. Even if Vettel was not at his best in 2019, he was still not too far behind Leclerc. Putting him in the car would have guaranteed Ferrari a good haul of points throughout the season. More importantly, though, Ferrari could still have used Vettel's experience and he could have helped Charles grow as a driver. Even in 2019, after an early blip, Vettel did make adjustments and was driving much better. He won in Singapore, got the pole at Japan, and should have won in Russia with the kind of pace that he displayed. Worst case scenario, Vettel would have been soundly beaten by Leclerc, but even an out of form Vettel is a much better driver than most on the grid. Now, number 3, signing Carlos Sainz as the second driver. Even if we assume that Charles would be able to weather the Italian media and handling Vettel and Charles in the same team was going to be too much of a hassle for Ferrari, you still have to question the eagerness behind signing Carlos Sainz. You have to question how and why Ferrari was so sure that Carlos is the best possible driver to put in the same car. Did Ferrari weigh in all the other options? Ricciardo was out of the picture, pretty much for the same reason as Vettel. But what about Nico Hülkenberg? What about a Sergio Perez? Or the driver who has been admirably doing the job of a number 2 driver for a while now? Valtteri Bottas. Even he is out of contract at the end of 2020. Carlos had a great 2019. He was best of the rest after the big teams, but then you have to ask, who did he beat in the same car? He's beaten Lando Norris, a 19-year-old rookie. In his career, Carlos has beaten Danny Kvyat and Lando Norris, while he has been soundly beaten by both Max Verstappen and Nico Hülkenberg in the same cars. Ferrari could have easily taken more time and let the season progress to evaluate all the contenders and judge who would fit best in the team. Now, having analyzed all the 3 decisions Ferrari have made, you have to question whether it was done with too much haste. Ferrari had time on their hands and they had plenty of it. Now, it might work out for them, and Charles could just be what Ferrari needs right now. And Carlos Sainz could fit the role of a supporting driver admirably. But again, you have to question, why not wait? Why not wait for Sainz to put together another good season at McLaren? Why not see how the Vettel-Leclerc partnership is unfolding? It's hard to protest right now that Ferrari might have decided on their 2021 lineup a season too early. Now, these are my views. Do share what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you for watching.